And to talk more on UFC 257, we bring in the one and only Ariel Helwani, big Bills fan, and he's repping it with his jersey on. Thanks for joining us, my friend. Let's go.
Thurman Thomas.
Oh, it's so great to be here. You know, I've been such a big fan of SportsNation. This is my SportsNation debut. You guys have been on the air for like 3 weeks. You don't call, you don't text, you don't invite me on. So I had to come represent Bills Mafia because this is the AFC champions right now. I know, I've seen the game already. We're about to win on Sunday. You guys don't have to watch. Spoiler alert, Bills are winning. We're going to Tampa.
Ariel,
Sorry,
you barely got on this show. You barely got on this show because you know I would have just asked all of it. So you need to slow down with all of that.
Okay, sorry, Trevor. I'm trying to extend an olive branch to you. I know we've had a bit of a feud over the years. You're doing great on the program, but let's be honest, the ratings would be way higher if you had invited me on a couple of weeks prior.
I cannot deny that. I can't deny.
Finally, it took Conor McGregor fighting to make it happen. So, Ariel, we appreciate you so much for hanging. We're going to get to the Bills in a second, but let's first talk about the fight this weekend. You got a chance to sit down and do a one-on-one interview with Conor McGregor, which was unbelievable, I do have to say. But just curious what your biggest takeaway from that interview was.
Other than the Bills beating the Chiefs this weekend?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, I had to slide that in. My biggest takeaway, if you would have asked me, Ashley, before the interview, which Conor McGregor is going to be sitting in front of you, I would have said an irritated Conor, an upset Conor, a frustrated Conor. Remember, he wanted to fight 3 times in 2020. He had these big plans, right? He had the 42nd win over Donald Cerrone. He had the season all mapped out. He even wanted to fight Manny Pacquiao, and in the end, none of that came to fruition. He butted heads with the UFC. Instead, I got a supremely relaxed Conor McGregor. Usually, he's sitting in his interviews. He's got that impeccable posture, the fancy suit, all that stuff. He still had the suit, but this time he was kind of slouched. He was relaxed. His son was running around. He was just in a real great place. And oh, by the way, cutting down to 155 for the first time in a little over 2 years, I thought he'd be a little irritated as well. The complete opposite. He seemed to be in a great spot. Physically, mentally, I was very impressed.
So do you think that then carries on into the ring? That swagger, does it take him even further with this rematch against Dustin Poirier?
100%. As he put it, the storm is behind him. He feels like he's in a good spot. He feels like he's kind of figured out how to be famous, how to get his life on track. Let's be honest, in 2019, it was completely off track, and it looked like he was about to lose it all. And it seems like he has really figured out how to just be Conor McGregor, the superstar. Now, his training, according to his coaches, has been phenomenal as well. And of course, they're going to say that before any fight, best training camp, blah, blah, blah. We've heard this before, but I got to say, you know, call me a sucker. I believe them this time. He has a win over Dustin, so he has the confidence in knowing that he could beat him. He beat him in less than 2 minutes. This time around, he says he'll beat him in 60. We'll find out on Saturday.
Do you think it's going to be different? Do you think this fight's going to be different than the first one?
I think it lasts a little longer. Ultimately, I think Conor wins. I think he's, like I said on Monday on my show with DC and Helwani, cheap plug. I feel like he's one of the most underrated fighters in the sport. To me, he's kind of like the Josh Allen of the UFC. He doesn't get enough respect. He doesn't get enough love. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like people give him his proper due, and I think he's going to remind people that he's still, if you want to say Khabib is number 1 at 155, he's number 2. He is still the man when it comes to the active fighters right now, 155, because, of course, Khabib Nurmagomedov recently retired.
But that's my question. Do we see Khabib come back? If Conor does indeed win this weekend, would he come back to do a rematch with Conor?
Okay, well, first of all, you have to understand the timeline. Khabib is a devout Muslim, so he is not returning before Ramadan, which is in April. And he's not fighting during Ramadan as well, and he's not fighting immediately after Ramadan. If you notice, recently, Khabib is fighting around the fall, which is well after Ramadan. So even if he does come back this year, even if he does, it won't be until September, October, and I can assure you, Conor wants to fight at least once or twice before September, October. Oh, by the way, I don't even think he comes back this year. He said he wanted to retire because his mom asked him to after the untimely passing of his father due to complications of coronavirus. I think he comes back in maybe 2022, 2023. So to answer your question, I really feel like if Conor wins, the title, so to speak, that's at stake here isn't a fight against Khabib. It's a fight for the vacant belt or the interim title, not necessarily the rematch that the UFC wants to see, which, of course, is Khabib versus Conor 2.
All right, Ariel, we got the MMA stuff out of the way. It is now time for you to lean into the Bills.
Look how happy he is right now.
Finally, we get rid of that.
This is what I want to talk about.
The floor is yours. Your prediction for how this plays out this weekend.
Okay, first of all, let me tell you, I've been a Buffalo Bills fan since 1990. I fell in love with this team when I saw Scott Norwood miss that field goal in the dying seconds.
Man.
30 years ago in Tampa against the New York Giants. And why do I stress Tampa? Why do I stress Tampa? Because guess what? Super Bowl this year, 30 years later, where? In Tampa. Full circle, my friends. The last time we played in the AFC Championship, and yes, I say we because I'm a proud member of Bills Mafia dating back 30 years. The last time we played in the AFC Championship was against these same Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. Quarterback then, Joe Montana. Quarterback now, Patrick Mahomes. Why do I mention Patrick Mahomes? Because I want him to play on Sunday, excuse me. What did Ric Flair famously say back in the day? To be the man, you gotta beat the man, right?
Hey.
I want to beat the man on Sunday. I want to waltz into Arrowhead, which we will do. We will win 31-24. Then I want Tom Brady to exercise those demons of the New England Patriots of yesteryear.
Sure
I want Tom
don't?
Brady. We will lay the smack down. We will be the champions of the world come February 7th. You heard it here first. Clip this off. Bills are winning the Super Bowl finally, and we get the monkey off our back.
Hey, Ariel, the last person you want running into that stadium is Tom Brady. 71-2 against the Buffalo Bills in his career. That's the last person you want.
I want Tom. I want all the smoke. I want all the bad juju. I want Tom. I want Giselle. I want Gronk. I want all those old fogies. We want them now. Josh Allen's the MVP. Sean McDermott's the coach of the year. Stephon Diggs is the comeback player of the year, and he's the best wide receiver in the game. And by the way, Leslie Frazier should be a head coach. I can't believe he didn't get a job, but I'm happy. And Brian Daboll should be a head coach. I can't believe he didn't get a job, but I'm happy he's still part of the Bills. And guess what? This defense, everyone said last week the Ravens are going to run all over them. What happened? How many points did they score? 3. Sad. That's how many goals Taylor Twellman has in his entire career. 3. Sad. Pathetic. And by the way, and by the way, that's the ratings anytime Trevor shows his face on camera over there at ESPN. A 0.3. That's it. Bills winning on Sunday. You heard it here first.
Screen.
Ashley's the real star of that show.
Get him out of here.
Ashley, say
goodbye.
And so we're going out as buddies. You too.
No.
I love it.
Club
That's
de
my
foot.
guy. That's my
Club
guy.
de foot.
I'll cheer for the Bills just because I love you, Ariel. Thanks so much for joining us, and enjoy the fights as well as your Bills game this weekend.
Josh Allen is Conor McGregor.
Go Bills, baby.
What?
Go Bills.
What?
Josh Allen, Conor McGregor.